So everybody wants to learn how they can build their own online business making 20K per month or more, but a lot of people don't understand the timeline and the skills required to actually make it happen. I'm going to break down the exact 18-month timeline so that you can build the right skills and make good money with these skills over the next 18 months. I'm going to be talking about step-by-step what skills you should be learning at each level so that you can stay on proper track. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. The first thing that you need to develop is a foundational skill. And you're going to be focusing on developing this foundational skill of how to make money for yourself in months 1 to months 8. Your number one priority, and this is where a lot of people go wrong, your number one priority with building a foundational skill set is picking a skill that will make a business directly more money. A lot of people focus on skills like video editing or brand design, and these skills definitely aren't bad, but these aren't good for a foundational skill. The skills that you should be picking as your foundational skill are skills that should be making a business directly more money. So you have two choices here. You have marketing or sales. I personally chose sales, and so this got me into doing appointment setting and closing, but marketing is also a really good skill to develop. Now, when you lock in and you really focus on getting good at the skill, but then also going into businesses and actually applying the skill, you can straight up get to making 5 to 10K per month alone just with this skill. A lot of people go wrong in this phase because they try to jump and add a bunch of other skills, but the reality is you should just focus in on locking in on that one skill from months 1 all the way till months 8. Like for me, when I was going to college and I got across the idea of doing sales for myself, I have my story on a bunch of other videos on my channel. I just really focused on getting good at sales every single day. I would wake up, I would take my college classes, I'd work as a lifeguard, and then all of the extra time that I had in the day, I would just like hyper obsess over getting good at the skill of sales. And even when I dropped out of college, there was a good amount of time where I was just super obsessed with practicing sales every single day, doing sales calls, watching my own film back, etc., etc. Now, if you want to break down the 8 months into even more segments, month 1 to month 3 is all about just learning the basics and starting to get a little bit of results in the door for yourself and just making a little bit of money. Months 4 to 6 is where your money is really going to come into play because you're going to focus on improving your skill even further and actually approaching mastery. And then months 7 to 8 is where you're actually going to get closer and closer to doing mastery, and this is where you can make that 8 to 10K per month. Now, once you've gone through phase 1 and you've built that foundational skill, then you're going to move into phase 2, which is actually just learning the opposite. So whatever skill you picked as your foundational skill, whether it was marketing or sales in the beginning, you're just going to do the other one now. And you're going to focus on building this skill as a secondary skill. So it's not going to be as powerful as your foundational skill, but it's going to be close. You're going to focus on learning this skill from months 9 all the way up until months 14. And your goal with this is to have your secondary skill complement your primary skill. So let's take a look at an example. Let's say from months 1 to months 8, you started doing sales, and months 1 to 3, you were making 2K per month. Then months 4 to 6, you started making like 5K per month. And then months 7 and 8, you started making 8K a month. Now that you understand how to sell, now you can pick up the skill of marketing and you can start to transition into running your own business where you can market your sales services. And you could even market your services of being a good closer to other closers that aren't making as much money as they could be or should be. Now is where it gets fun because you actually have the skill sets required to run a business. Same thing with marketing. Let's say you built the skill of marketing first and you started off as like a copywriter, for example, and you were working with a couple businesses, and by the time you were 7 or 8 months into it, you were making 5 to 10K per month. Then you started transitioning from just being a copywriter to selling entire growth systems into businesses where you were helping them with their marketing, but you were also helping them build and scale sales teams. This effectively allows you to have 2 really good foundational skills, your primary skill and your secondary skill. And this makes you literally infinitely more valuable to any business on the planet. This allows you to charge way more, and this allows you to make way more money for each hour that you spend. So for me, for example, I started off doing appointment setting and doing closing inside of businesses. After going through that, the offer that I was selling for was helping coaches scale their business. So I wanted to learn other skill sets so that I could also help these coaches. I started learning things like content creation and how to run ads on Instagram, which are incredibly complementary to the skill of sales. I got so good at these things that if you gave me a random coach that wanted to make money online, I was able to help them make a ton of money because I understood how to generate leads and I understood how to convert leads with sales. And this got me to the point where I was making anywhere from 15 to 20K per month doing this. So if you want to break down the timeline of building the secondary skill from months 9 to months 11, months 9 to 11 are literally just building the initial skill set. And then months 12 to months 14 are all about how you're integrating these skills together. Then we get into phase 3, which is building supplementary skill sets. And this is month 15 all the way up until month 18. Now, these skills are literally like the supporting cast. You don't need to master these, but getting at least decent at some of these is going to help the other 2 skills that you've built. Here's a couple examples of skills that you could pick up in this time frame. The skill of speaking and learning how to present yourself professionally. The skills of basic finance, the skill of investing so you can learn how you can multiply your money, the skill of leadership, understanding how you can run and manage teams. These are all skills that make you way more well-rounded and allow you to make more with what you already have. You 100% should focus on getting really good at a primary skill and a secondary skill first, but these are good additives once you have that foundation. In my opinion, one of the best skills that you can ever learn is learning how to speak in front of the camera, and it's clear as day that people are making tons of money using social media. If you literally just learn the skill of sales and then you focus on building skills like content creation and getting good at speaking in front of the camera, you will never go broke ever again. These skills help you command premium rates for your services. They prepare you for eventually running your own business if you weren't already, and they separate you from everyone else who's just really good at one thing. So your primary skill gets you to the point where you're making 10K per month. Adding in that secondary skill will get you to the point where you're making 15 to 20K per month. And then when you start adding in these supplementary skill sets, this is where you can get to the point where you're making 20 to 30K per month, which, by the way, if you're making 20 to 30K per month, you can essentially do anything that you want. Obviously within reason, like you can't go out and buy supercars every single day or buy yachts, but you can live an amazing lifestyle and not have to stress about money. Each of these skill sets that you're going to develop along the path will multiply each other. Meaning when you pick up the secondary skill, it's going to make your primary skill better. When you pick up these supplementary skills, it's going to make both your primary skill and your secondary skill better. Now, here's some common mistakes to avoid. Number one is learning 5 different skill sets all at the same time. Because what's going to happen is naturally you're just going to suck at all of these. The second mistake I see a lot is people jumping to complementary and supplementary skill sets before mastering the foundations. You should be making 10K per month with your primary skill, and if you're not, there's something going wrong. A lot of people also make the mistake of thinking that they need every skill on the planet to make a ton of money. You don't. And these people often fall into shiny objects where they think that they need to acquire this skill and that skill and this skill, or this new opportunity, this new business model, etc. The reality is you don't need any of that. You just need to learn foundational skill sets. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to follow down the exact path that I was able to do, you can watch a ton of videos on my YouTube channel that talk about my story and my process. If you guys want to work with a one-on-one mentor that can teach you these skill sets, but then also help you implement them so that you're actually making good money with these, you can book a call with myself in the link in the description. I've been able to help dozens of guys get to the point where they're making anywhere from 5 to 10K per month online. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you can book a call or you can DM me on Instagram. Let me know down below if you guys have any questions about the skill ladder and how it all works. But hopefully you guys got some good value out of this video, and you guys take care and have a fantastic rest of your day, okay? Peace.